but temperatures are still pretty sweltering here in North Florida. But the good news, the radar is clear. Still, hydration will be key today at TIAA Bank Field in Jacksonville. Today, we've got a good Week 5 matchup in store here between the New Orleans Saints and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The first quarter of the season already in the rearview mirror, and off we go in Week 5 on EA Sports. No run back here on the opening kickoff as we'll start at the 25. They begin on the ground with Kamara. And not much to speak of. Call it a 1-yard gain up to the 26. Well, this defense for the Jags, they were fantastic a week ago in that win over Houston.
And I'm eager to see the game plan and try to attack them this week, because when you take it away 4 times through interceptions, what do you do now when you go into a game? Do you decide you can't throw the ball? Do you try and run it more? Or do you tell your quarterback, make sure you see your guys open before you deliver?
On 2nd and 9, Winston. He's going to loft this one deep left sideline. And he's got it. What a catch on the sideline. An explosive 38-yard pickup.
Brandon, we've both been around the game long enough that we know that in pregame, defenses are pretty amped up, aren't they? I mean, they're pounding lockers, and they can't wait to get out there. But when you hit them with some big pass plays early, it takes the starch right out of them.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Winston again, it's Kamara. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 37-yard line. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
Now they contend with a 2nd and 12 after the loss. Jameis to throw it. There's Chris Olave. And he'll be brought down at the 27. So they just need 1 yard here to pick up the first down. Off the play fake, Winston. He finds his man Johnson. And he's brought down here just outside of the 20.
Well, this has certainly been a nice drive with the way they've spread the football around. Here, they even get the fullback involved in the passing game. That's got to cause a lot of consternation on the defensive side. You've got to cover him, too. That makes things really difficult.
And he works his way forward to pick up 4 yards there, 2nd down.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Kamara gets it again on 2nd down. It'll be a loss of a couple on the play, so now 3rd down coming up.
The short field shrinks even more with the type of bodies they brought in on that play. Those extra tight ends, they weren't able to secure their blocks, and that one ended up going backwards.
Eighth play of this opening drive coming up. This is 3rd down. From the gun, Winston. They'll get this out to Kamara. And he'll be out of bounds, taking it just shy of the 10 at the 11 of the 12. So they'll get 8 out of that completion, and it'll be 4th down. And the pocket's been protected pretty good here so far on the opening drive.
We always talk about confidence in runners and catchers and quarterbacks. How about the protection detail? They're not allowing anyone near the guy throwing the football.
The kick by Lutz is good, and the Saints are going to take a 3-0 lead. No touchdown there, but if that first drive is any indication, looks like they're going to have a pretty good day passing the football.
I would say confidence would have to be pretty high after that first drive, able to throw it almost at will. You're exactly right. They didn't get the touchdown, but 3 points serves as a nice notice about how this offense is going to move.
Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They'll start on the ground. Etienne. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Usually we see runs like this as the defense breaks down later in the game, but this guy is setting the tone early, running through all types of tackles and put the defense back on its heels.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. They'll run it. This is James Robinson. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5. The Jaguars at 3-1 here through their first 4 games. And they coming on a pretty good roll here. Winners of 3 straight.
And I thought that they played pretty well last week. Their execution, their discipline, their resilience, all on display in that victory.
After the pickup of 5, here's 2nd and 5. Lawrence toward the sideline, and he will have the first down as he was able to keep the feet in bounds. 5 yards is the pickup there as that extends this drive.
Let's just make this one simple. Could he be any more open than he was on that play?
And they lost him going to the outside.
Hard to believe because you go through your accounting on each and every defensive snap. Who's got who, what defense you're in. That was totally a blown coverage.
And they'll get this just to the 47. 1-yard gain.
Nice run defense presented there, and what I mean by that is discipline. Guys filling the right gaps in the right holes, no one over pursuing, and making a very nice play.
On 2nd and 9, Lawrence. And he bats it away, and it falls down incomplete.
That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
After an incomplete pass on 2nd down, that'll leave him trying to convert on 3rd and 9. Now Lawrence. Flushed out right. And he's out of bounds as he gets this down to the 45. Give him 8 yards that time on the scramble, and now 4th down.
Well, he was looking at a dime formation, 6 defensive backs on the field, so he's looking for anyone to throw the football to, but he didn't have anyone open, so he took off and ran for it, but he came up just short, and that brings up 4th down.
Taken in at the 11. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30. A very good return that time. 18 yards. And the Saints will take over with a 1st down and 10. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start 1st and 10. Winston now. He's got a man complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. A very nice pickup of 33 yards. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. On the counter, here's Kamara. And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. Second down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean, or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
The last run got 3. Now here's 2nd and 7. Working out of the gun, Winston. That's into a crowd and intercepted. Picked by Chad Muma. And the Jaguars are going to have it here as they'll start at their own 24-yard line. Well, your first drive of the first quarter, you get it down there, try to fire it in the end zone, and big-time deflation on that play.
No doubt about it. They're moving and grooving and getting into position, and this is not the ending that they saw on this drive, is it? They had things going their way.
Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Now Lawrence to throw. Quick hitter here, it's complete. So the completion good for 7 there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Well, he was a busy man out of the backfield a week ago. They got him the ball early and often. I have no doubt in my mind that he'll be a big part of the game plan here as well.
Second down and 3. Now Lawrence. And the reception made by Green. And he'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. A gain there of 21 yards. So in Saints territory now. Here's 1st and 10 at the 48-yard line. Straight ahead, Etienne. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning it in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
Following the pickup of 4, here's 2nd and 6. Off the play fake, here's Lawrence. That's out wide here for Robinson. And he is out of bounds inside the 35. 10 yards there, good enough for a Jags first down. We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you'll break a tackle and turn into a bigger gain. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is a force of nature at the defensive tackle position. Yes, he's as big as they come, but still plenty agile. He's able to make a nice play there to swallow up the ball carrier.
So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Here's Lawrence to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete.
Everything about that play tells you about today's NFL offenses and what they're asking out of running backs. You can't just be a guy who can run the football. You have to be able to catch it as well, and he didn't get that done on that play.
7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on 3rd down. Looking to throw, Lawrence. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
What I loved about meeting with these coaches before the game is we didn't even have to ask any questions. They told us that they were going to be aggressive and push the ball downfield. They weren't successful on that play, but look for them to try it again later.
Garibaldi's kick is good, and that will tie us at 3-3. So, Charles, they get to them with their first turnover of the game and then make it hurt a little bit extra with a field goal.
And anytime you give the ball up, what's the first thing a coach tells his defense? Don't let them score off of this. You've got to put out the fire. In fact, in 2021, that's what one NFL coach termed his defense. The firemen. Go out there, guys, and don't let them put some points on the board.
The The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. As the offense comes out here, Charles, remember they threw the interception last time out, but they were moving the football down the field. Looked like they were going to have a sustained drive that ended in points, but then the pick ensued.
And because of that, there's no way you can call the last drive a success. Yes, there are things to build on because they found some play calls that work. Now, they've got to build another drive and find a way to avoid the turnover that plagued it on the last one.
The Saints with a football here to begin quarter number 2. As they've got it 2nd and 7. On play action, Winston. And that falls to the ground, incomplete. A nice job of bodying him up defensively, and now it brings up 3rd down.
Have to give some credit to the defender on that when he read all of his keys perfectly and got a great break on the ball and able to force that incompletion.
They head to the line facing a 3rd and 7 following the incompletion on 2nd down. From the shotgun, it's Winston. He rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked up by Tyree Gillespie. And the Jags are going to take possession of the football. He got out of the pocket there, was wondering what he was going to do with it, but I think he was calling, his receiver was calling for the ball, wasn't he?
He certainly was. The problem, he called for it too late, and when he delivered, they were all over him in the secondary and came up with the interception.
On play action, Lawrence. Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. A great effort there. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Jaguars have moved out in front. Extra point up and good by Garibay. And the lead is now 10-3. Garibay back out there now to send this one away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. They're sort of seeing themselves spiral out of control. Let's see if they can get things back. And the ball is knocked out, and the Jags grab it. And he'll take this back down inside the 20. And so the last 3 drives, you've got 2 interceptions and a fumble. I think we know why they're losing right now.
Without question, and we've seen the evidence, just what you talked about there. If they take care of the football, number 1, maybe they're not having this deficit. And number 2, maybe they actually have the lead.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. And he's going to go down. He's sacked back at the 24. That's the former Buckeye Pete Werner getting the sack. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field, down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. But you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation.
And the pressure gets to him again. Brought down by multiple defenders, and it's a loss of 12.
So when you have good field position to start a drive and you give up back-to-back sacks, that can be demoralizing for a team.
So now after the sack of Lawrence, the Jags looking at a 3rd and long. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Open here, Adam Thielen. And they've got this down to about the 12-yard line.
Nice job understanding the situation. 3rd and long, kept the play in front of them and made the tackle. They gave up a good chunk of yardage, but it does force a 4th down.
The Garibay's kick is good. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal here.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx it.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, you had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on second down. Another try after the first down sack. Winston. He'll get this to his tight end, Troutman. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. It's a gain of 35. So the line of scrimmage moves all the way across the 50 now as they come up 1st and 10. Now a first down carry. It's Kamara. And boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Looking to throw on second down. Winston out of the backfield. That's complete to Kamara. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40.
And they'll use him out in the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
Winston from the gun on third down. Alvin Kamara reeling it in on back-to-back plays. And he'll be brought down just shy of the 40. So now they're going to send out the field goal unit to, as they say, fire away from long distance. So this will be spotted on the midfield logo. It's a 58-yard attempt.
Well, Brandon, anything beyond 50, you start rolling the dice a bit. And once you get up around 57, 58 yards, the chances of making it go down dramatically. And sure enough, this one winds up no good.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And they come into this one riding that nice long win streak. And remember, next weekend is an open week for them. So if they can get the win here, a lot of momentum into that time off.
It certainly is. And if you're wondering if anybody's saying, boy, this is coming at a bad time, we want to keep playing, the answer can be yes. Because when teams are on a hot streak, they want to keep going. But what the veterans are telling the young guys in the locker room, an open week is always good, guys. Take it, and let's go with it.
On 1st and 10, it's ETN. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
And there we saw one of the downsides of blitzing during a rundown, because sometimes you get out of your gaps. You don't fit the run quite as well because you're headed towards the ball carrier with abandon.
Second down and a run by Robinson. 4 yards the pickup, first down.
But we always talk about good down and distance, allowing offenses to expand their playbook. Well, 2nd and 2, that means your playbook's wide open. You can run just about anything. But a lot of times the play caller, he just looks down at his sheet, sees the short yardage runs, and goes to one of those.
And a dump off here to Robinson. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. A gain of 10 as they look to add on to this 10-point lead. And worth pointing out, after that last completion, that puts this young quarterback over 10,000 yards passing for his career. And fair to say, he's not done yet.
No doubt about it. He's really just getting started because he's not quite into the prime of his career. So it's likely he's going to hit a few more of these milestones as this career progresses. So let's face it, we'll acknowledge this number and we'll celebrate the milestones down the road.
So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? Robinson will get down close to the goal line, but not in, as he'll be marked down at the 1. A short gain of just over 2 yards as the first half clock dips inside of 3 minutes.
Well, he did get a taste the previous week. He got into the end zone trying his best to get there in this game. So far, he's been denied.
So can this New Orleans defense stand tall again? 3rd and goal. Lawrence will throw. And that is caught. Touchdown, Jacksonville. Adam Thielen with career touchdown number 70. And his guy's now an extra point away from taking a 3-score lead. Garibay on for the extra point. And that'll make this a 3-score game as the lead moves to 17. Garibay back out there now to send this one away. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And the last time that they were on the field, a little demoralizing. Missed field goal. You know, always feel like you want to get it in the end zone, but then, oh, well, at least we're going to get 3. Didn't go for the goalpost. So
it does test the mental processes of a team, though, doesn't it? Because when you miss a field goal, it's amazing how fast they want to turn on the guy kicking the ball. But you need to keep his confidence up because how many times have we seen games where it comes down to a stretch? And guess what? You need that guy to make the big kick for your team to move on or to win a game. Make sure you keep him happy. Make sure you keep him comfortable.
I'm sure you always treated the kicker nicely, though, right?
You know, truthfully, I did.
Good.
I always did because those guys, they won us a whole lot of games.
Open man is the tight end, Troutman. And they're able to work this across midfield to the 48.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players, somehow came back to football. And that's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes.
Throwing again on 2nd down. Winston. And, oh, Jameis intercepted a 3rd time. And the Jaguars are going to have the football here at their own 35-yard line. 3 first-half interceptions now. And, Charles, you'd have to think a fair amount of concern is developing over there on that sideline.
And there should be because, essentially, he's been a little loose and possibly reckless with the football here in the first half. Now, maybe it's not all on him, but still 3 interceptions. That puts the entire team in jeopardy. So the play caller from here on out got to design some throws for him that he can complete, keep it away from the defense, and try and get him back on track.
And he will lose yardage here to the 31-yard line. Not what they had in mind there. That's going to go as a loss of 4.
You know what the key to a good screen pass is, don't you?
But you're going to tell me good blocking?
Well, good blocking eventually. But first is good acting. You want to let the defenders go past you, leak out to whichever side or even in the middle where you want to set up the screen, and then you do your blocking. How about the read, though, by the defensive guys? They weren't fooled at all and actually ran with the lineman to where the play was and smothered it for a loss of yardage. I think he had to unload that one before he wanted to. He was right up in his grill. I think he was a dentist there without a license, don't you?
Just not enough time for the play to develop. Just lucky it wasn't a fumble, really. Now Lawrence on 3rd and long. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Offensively lucky they're able to keep the football, but now 4th down, so they'll have to boot it away.
I do think, though, they're going to look at this as a positive. 1, they recovered the fumble, so they retained possession. But 2, being able to punt it changes field position for them. Imagine if that turnover takes place there. Now your defense has to go onto the field and try and hold. Instead, they get a little breathing room.
A pretty good punt there, but also a nice return of 12 yards. And they will take over 1st and 10. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And with great starting field position and a couple of timeouts at their disposal, they'll certainly have the green light here. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Touchdown! Chris Olave, his first touchdown on the year. And the Saints get a late score here in the final minute of the first half. Lutz with the extra point, and the lead is trimmed down to 10. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And we'll see a return here from the end zone. And they'll get him down right around the 25, actually the 26 officially, so a net gain of 1 there. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. And with a 2-score lead already, they may just look to get this thing to the locker room. On first down, Lawrence. And a quick throw here that's complete. And he's going to get a solid gain of 9 before being brought down. Second and right at a yard. Looking to throw again on second down. Lawrence. Now another timeout called for by the offense, as they'll stop the clock with 26 seconds to go until halftime.
Many different ways to create space, but on that play, he did it with that big, wide body of his. Didn't get a whole lot of yardage on the play, but it did what it was supposed to. Pick up a first down.
And they'll throw on first down with Lawrence. This one complete to Christian Kirk. The Jaguars now will use the last of their timeouts. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. Only needing 2 yards on second down. And to throw again is Lawrence. And that is incomplete. Down to 15 seconds now.
But 2 good plays on this one, Brandon. The first one at the quarterback because the pressure affected his throw. And I think it forced him to throw away from his designated target. And how about the second bit of pressure downfield? Receiver going up for the pass, helping force that incompletion.
After the incompletion, here now, 3rd and 2. Here's Lawrence. And that's incomplete. Clock stops with 10 seconds left.
That might be the 3rd down stop that they needed, because they've had a lot of trouble slowing down this offense in the first half. This might be their opportunity to get off the field.
The Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away. This is taken at the 15. And he'll be out of bounds near the 30. In fact, right on the 30. So a solid punt, but also a nice return there of 14 yards. And there'll be time for maybe one final play before halftime. And no reason to do anything foolish as they'll snap it one more time on first down. The final second ticks by, and that's going to do it for the first half of play. So we hit the halftime break here in Jacksonville with the Jags on top. As we send you a couple hours south of here to Orlando, that's where we check in with the coach and our EA Sports halftime report. And we welcome you back live now inside the booth alongside Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gordon, set and ready to rock for the 3rd quarter. The Jaguars in possession of the lead, and they will get the football as we are underway in the second half. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. And they've got the lead. CD, what do you think the message was at halftime?
I don't think the message was too drastic, I think, at the half, or that they need to change things too much. I do think the offensive line could play a little bit better. I think they'll try and help him out more. They'll probably keep a tight end in a few more times and maybe add a running back to the formation and pick up those pass rushers because they probably allowed a few too many sacks for comfort in the first half.
One of the reasons that this team is on this win streak, big runs like that.
When you see runs like that broken off, you know this is a team that's confident running the football. A big reason why this streak has occurred, they've come together, had a plan, and stuck to it. And when you get big-time runs like that, it makes it easier to stay with it, doesn't it?
The defense showing some anger after giving up the big play. This time they'll lose one or two.
Well, they've had success on the ground on this drive, and that makes a defense more likely to overcommit to stop the run as they did on that play. But keep in mind, it makes them susceptible to play-action passes as well.
Looking at a 2nd and 11 now after the loss. Not even a chance to pitch that one as he's swallowed up in the backfield. Chalk that up as a 4-yard loss, and now it's 3rd down.
Well, that's the big drawback to this play. Even if somehow the quarterback pitches it, he's not immune to the big hit. In this case, he kept it and absorbed it anyway.
From the shotgun, Lawrence. Pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line. On for the field goal try, Jonathan Garibay. They'll put it down right at the 40, so call this a 50-yard attempt. Garibay's kick is good, and that would extend their lead even further. Well, they picked up right where they left off in the first half. First drive after the break, they come away with 3 and increase that lead.
Yeah, and you just want to keep building on that lead, don't you? Whether it's 6 points or 3 points, take everything you can get, keep maneuvering, keep adding to it, keep making it difficult for them to come back.
And here comes a return from a few steps into the end zone. And he'll be brought down shy of the 20, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone, not a good one. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, the kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
This will be a gain of about 8 to the 27-yard line.
Just about every quarterback is trained to really look downfield first before you come back and make a nice, safe throw. And in this case, that's exactly what he did. Found his running back, let him create some space, and it turned out to be a nice play for the offense.
Only a couple there, so he'll be brought down about the 28.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
3rd and short yardage, Winston. And a big loss here as he's taken down. Brought down by Trayvon Walker on the pass rush. And here's Ryan Wright now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. A nice return that time, gets 12 yards back. And the Jaguars go on offense, 1st down and 10. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Last time out, you remember their drive stalled, but thanks to their kicker, made it a long field goal to at least get him through. Now Robinson coughs up the football. It's loose. And he's going to be stacked up right at the line of scrimmage. Nothing there for him. 2nd down.
Wow, that ball gets knocked free, but a teammate comes along and scoops it up. It's almost like baseball. Guys at bat, people are on base in scoring position. One guy doesn't get him home. The next guy comes through and picks him up.
And avoids the turnover. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down. Not his best throw there, but where we sit right now in the 3rd quarter, he's had a pretty good game throwing the football.
He certainly has, and it's not exactly the point where we're doing 4-minute offense yet, but they've got to think about, I'm not going to say milking the clock, but understanding clock management here on out.
They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. Lawrence. This is caught by Robinson. And he's able to get this to the 40-yard line before he's out of bounds. That one a pickup of 15 for Jacksonville.
And now we get into the psychology of the whole thing, because a lot of teams with a 2-score lead in the third quarter, they almost become defensive with their offense, just playing not to lose. I think with this team, you got to figure at this point, this is a great spot for them to go into attack mode, really try and put the hammer down and finish this one off.
He's going to let this go. Back of the end zone. And that's going to be too high. Out of bounds and incomplete.
Tremendous field position there and a perfect time to do exactly what they did. Take a shot at the end zone. And they went for the big play, just unable to complete it.
After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. ETN up the middle. And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. It'll go as a loss of a yard, so now they deal with 3rd and 11.
Sometimes with the running game, you've just got to stick with it. Look, it's the third quarter, no time to panic. But that also doesn't mean you just do it the same way you've been doing it the entire ball game. Maybe change up some blocking assignments or run a few different plays, but stay with the overall essence of the running game.
Boy, he almost did that himself, but it looks like he's about a foot or two short. The scramble good for a nice gain of 10 yards, but still 4th down.
That looked great when he first took off, because in my mind, there was room to run, and he had the marker in his sight. But I certainly didn't expect him to close so quickly, and neither did he. They got to him just in time, and now that forced him to make a decision with his 4th down carry.
So the lead grows here incrementally, but I think the way the defense is playing, you feel okay with just getting through.
They've definitely been stout so far, but now that can all change, because if one guy gets loose for 70 yards, this is a different game. But as it stands, field goals are good. Just keep adding to that lead.
And he's only going to make it to the 13-yard line and no further.
In this position, trying to get back into the game, teams are looking for a spark from their special teams. That's not what they got, though. They got a setback, and they have a long field to cover. They want to try and put points on the board.
The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Now a deep ball there on 2nd down, but it'll wind up incomplete.
At this point in the game, in the situation they're in, partner, these incompletions that we're seeing, they need to turn into positive snaps, and soon.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on 3rd down. Jameis to throw it. Looking deep for Jennings. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off by Tyson Campbell. And the Jags are going to get the football here at their own 23. Well, that one was in the air for an agonizingly long time.
Just begging to be picked off, wasn't it? It's one thing if you're throwing a ball like that, trying to throw someone open or lead them into an area. But that ball needed to be thrown with a lot more conviction. As a result, it's an easy interception.
And his throw here's incomplete.
I think he's got to be careful not to force anything into coverage right there. There weren't really any throwing lanes, but the best part for him, he's got 2nd and 3rd down to fall back on.
2nd and 10 forthcoming here. 3rd quarter action from Jacksonville. Now Lawrence. And he'll find Thielen on the right side. 9 yards, not quite enough, and they'll be left now with 3rd and 1. They'll run with ETN. And he'll be touched down here, but not before he does pick up the first. It's a gain of a yard, and the Jags are going to have a first down. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
Quarterbacks work all the time on manipulating a defense with their eyes and their head movement. In this case, he just stared the receiver down. That allowed for excellent coverage, able to knock that one away.
From the 34, they'll come to the line on 2nd and 10. Now Lawrence to throw. And he whips that one incomplete there.
Well, he certainly thought he had an open look beyond the first down marker to his receiver, but they just couldn't connect, and that will send them back to the drawing board.
Now they face a 3rd and 10 after back-to-back incompletions. Now Lawrence. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. And he will have a Jaguars first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion.
That coach is always hard finding the quarterback, reading the defense and getting into the open man. That's good recognition there. And how about what he did after the catch?
Yeah, hit your tight end, let him get some rack.
Yeah, when he gets moving, not many guys want to come over and put a hit on him, do they?
And the tackle going to be made at the 38.
I'll tell you what, a lot of those mid-range throws have been available because sometimes teams get too concerned about the deep ball and they leave too much space in front of them, and these guys have been taking advantage so far.
And some space here. Touchdown, Jaguars. Travis Etienne, his 3rd rushing touchdown on the year. And the Jaguars will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. Garibay on to attempt the point after. And that PAT pushes the lead up to 23 now. Garibay back out there now to send this one away. They'll elect to bring it out here from the end zone. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. I kind of feel like they've reached a do-or-die point in this game, Charles. If they're going to try to pull off an impressive comeback, it has to start right here, right now.
Yeah, now they've got a final chance to get out of this situation, but they also understand they've got to move the ball and move it fast. In addition, they need to save as much time so they can get 2 more possessions.
2nd down, and it's Kamara again. And he's brought down at the 24 after a gain of 4. It'll be a pickup of 4, and it winds us down to the end of the 3rd quarter. 3 quarters have come and gone. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And this offense on 3rd down today, they've had their troubles. Just 1 for 6. This time it's 3rd and 3. Working out of the gun, Winston. That's complete to his running back, Kamara. And he is going to have a Saints first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. So signs of life in what's been a dormant offense in this 2nd half. Here's 1st and 10. They'll run out of the gun with Kamara. And he finds a little bit of room, enough for 4 yards. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, on every play call, you realize it's not going to go for a touchdown, so a lot of your calls are setting things up for maybe later in the game, trying to establish the inside run with toughness now, hopefully get to the perimeter later, and let's face it, you could do worse than a 4-yard run on first down.
To throw on 2nd and 6, Winston. And that went too far in front. He couldn't reel it in. It's incomplete.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
So after the second down incompletion, they'll come up now against a 3rd and 6. From the gun, Winston. Throws right side, and that's complete. He'll get it inside the 20. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great play there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Saints get a bit closer.
All you hear from coaches and difficult it is for a rookie receiver to have an impact on the game. So much to learn, so much offense to absorb. Looks like he's picking it up pretty well.
I would say so. And how about that for your first career NFL touchdown?
I don't know that he envisioned it quite that way, but if he was smart, he probably dreamed about it a little bit.
Now here's Winston as his guys will line up and go for the 2-point conversion. They'll look to throw. And that's going to be knocked away in the end zone. It's incomplete.
As we prepared for these games, we've noticed offensive coordinators have had an expanded playbook on 2-point conversion tries because they never know when they may have to use it during a game.
But that also means the defense probably has more for these situations too, right?
Oh, no doubt about it. I think for the most part, defenses will be aggressive on 2-point tries. They want to get after the offense and make them force the issue.
And here the defense wins. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at the 34. Looking to throw, Lawrence. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. Second time in this game, Charles, the ball has squirted out from his hands. Luckily, his teammate was there to pounce on it.
You're right. Got the lucky bounce, able to retain possession. You know, we often talk about the combine and why do we measure quarterbacks' hands. Is that really a big deal? It's for situations like this. Do you have the hands big enough and strong enough to hold on to the football while being jostled?
And he'll protect himself at the end here as he winds up getting pretty decent yardage. Give him 7 there on the tuck and run, and they're in better shape now for 3rd.
I like how he hung in there and went through his progressions, but eventually his internal clock went off and told him it was time to make a run for it, and he ends up sliding down with a solid gain.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. He rifles one that's intercepted. It's the Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. And the Saints are going to take possession of the football. Well, that interception at least offers them a glimmer of hope here in the 4th quarter.
Well, it certainly does if their offense goes out now and makes it pay off by getting into the end zone. And if it does, then they get a chance to get back out on the field and try and do it again. Maybe they can force that offense into more and more mistakes and give them a chance to get back into this one totally.
Well, still a 3-score hill to climb. We'll see if they can do it. It's a loss of a yard there, and now 2nd down.
There's no question that coming into this game, this defense was pretty vocal about its desire to take this running back out of his game. And all that pregame whooping has turned into results.
It's 2nd and goal, back to the 8-yard line now. Kamara trying again. And he'll work his way closer to the goal line as he's got 5 down to the 3. This is kind of one of those in-between plays here, Charles, on 3rd and goal from the 2 or the 3 in that area. What do you dial up?
Something quick hitting. You don't have the time for something that develops slowly. It's got to be right at them if you're going to run the football. And if you're going to throw it, something quick, get it out of your hands in a hurry.
Kamara is into the end zone for a Saints touchdown. So a little bit of a letdown there defensively. I mean, look, you're still 2 scores to the good, CD, but things may be a little more uncomfortable than they had hoped.
Yeah, if you kept them out of the end zone there, this game's over. You've locked the door on them. Instead, it's still open a little bit, and they've got a puncher's chance.
After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. Fields this way up at the 17. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. Well, don't look now, but they've got a little bit of a battle on their hands again. Back to a 2-score game. The interception that led to a touchdown. You'd have to think they're a little more careful here if they do indeed try to throw the football.
Yeah, and I was a little surprised by the last throw. You know, that type of throw in this type of a game, I'm going to be very careful about it. Maybe the only throw you make is maybe a toss to your halfback or something like that. Otherwise, take care of the thing and finish this bad boy off.
Now here's Robinson again on 2nd down. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 3rd and 3.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
And for the Saints here on 3rd down, an extra defensive back on the field. Here's Lawrence to throw. And he fends him off. And that is incomplete.
They certainly thought they had him surrounded and probably thought they were going to get him on the ground and get the sack, but he was able to elude that. And even though it threw it incomplete downfield, if you're a defensive back, you're loving the pressure that you're seeing from your front.
So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. That's fielded at the 8-yard line. It'll be a 47-yard punt with a net of 40 following a 7-yard return. And the Saints will take over with a 1st and 10 deep in their own territory. The Saints offense on the field ready to get their drive started. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive. And he's got a man complete. And he steps out of bounds, but not before he gets inside the 35. A big-time play there for New Orleans. 54 yards. So how about this for a change in field position? From inside the 10, here's 1st down on the other side of the field. And he can only manage to get a couple. 2nd and 8 coming up.
Certainly a nice job there by the defense rallying to the football and getting him on the ground, but I think the play gets made by the defensive front because if they can't get upfield, their job is to go ahead and get low, almost get into a ball sometimes, stack things up, and make it difficult for the runner to find a hole.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side, and he'll be out of bounds as he gets this down about the 21 or 22.
Let's not quibble about the game there on 2nd down. That was a positive play because that was a take-what-you-can-get situation. Got out to the tight end. Now gives them much better opportunity to convert on 3rd down.
The Saints on 3rd down. Not quite 50%. 4 for 9. They need just a yard here. It's 3rd and 1. A man who's been busy this afternoon. It's Kamara again. And I don't think Kamara got there. Looks like they stopped him short. So the field goal unit is on the field as this is a big spot right here. And this a 39-yard attempt. The kick by Lutz is good. And this is back down to a 7-point game. All right, so they needed 2 scores to get back in the game. The field goal there, maybe not exactly what they wanted, but the necessary first step.
There's still time remaining, and there's enough time to get it done. They've got to get it the least a 3-and-out here to get the ball back, preferably a takeaway.
And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Jaguars come to the line to start their next drive. Right now clinging to a one-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go. And he loses the football a second time. And this is picked up by the Saints. And to the 43. So down inside the 45 to the 43-yard line. That's where they'll take over.
Well, partner, here's where team football gets tested a little bit, because I know the defensive guys were over there chilling on the sidelines, and all of a sudden they heard the sudden change call because that fumble puts them right back on the field, and they've got to go out and finish the game now themselves.
Absolutely. Nursing that slim lead here in the fourth, a costly turnover. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
Well, as far as plays go, there's nothing to write home about on that one, because that one gets some negative yardage. But if you do want to find a positive, he found a way to get out of bounds and stop the clock.
So the opening play of the drive goes backwards. Now they'll come up on 2nd and 12. To throw, Winston. Looking deep for Jennings. And, oh, that one going to wind up incomplete. Nearly an interception in the end zone. Probably should have been. 3rd down coming up.
Well, I think we were both wondering if we were going to see them try and push it deep downfield, facing a one-possession deficit late, and they certainly didn't disappoint. They gave it an effort.
Possibly a turning point. Big play coming. This is 3rd and long. Here's Winston. Oh, not sure he saw the linebacker there as that's batted down and incomplete.
Well, how about the coverage we just saw break out on 3rd down? Dime defense, blanketed the field with extra defensive backs and speed, unable to find an open hole to complete that pass.
You rarely call your punter a weapon, but he certainly was there. How about that? Pinning him down at the 1-yard line and helping out the defense in a big way. I'm telling you what, if I'm a defensive coordinator, I might be thinking safety right now.
The Jacksonville offense set to begin their next drive. Their defense got the stop, forced the punt, and now you really start to monitor the clock as they nurse this slim lead. And not a whole lot of room to operate there on the 1st down run. He gets maybe 3. You know, I was going to ask you if maybe they should surprise and pass the ball, but where they're at on the field, I think keep it on the ground, right?
I like where you're going with this one, because field position is going to determine these play calls. And backed up where they are, I don't even think about putting the ball in the air. I tell my running backs, grasp the football, and I tell my offensive line, don't allow any leaks so they get hit immediately when we hand it off.
Well, that's a carry they have to be satisfied with, and throughout this game, they've been satisfied with what he's given them. Whenever they've needed a big run, a 1st down, he's the guy they've turned to. And it doesn't matter what the defense thinks. They feel like they've got the confidence to keep handing it to him and keep picking up good yardage.
And just no chance of turning the corner. He can only get back to the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up. Robinson with another carry. And he works it across the 25 before being tackled. 98 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long. No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the 4th quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
And he's going to take this ahead for right around 3 yards, but no more than that. 2nd down. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play.
Come on,
Lawrence. Screenplay. Here's Etienne. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. Now a second timeout called for by the defense as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Now play number 7 of the drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 10. Here's Lawrence. And he will find his man on the outside. And he gets this up across the 35 before he's out of bounds. They'll get 10 there, but it leaves him just short for 4th down. Here's Logan Cook now as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he gets it away, a directional kick going toward the sideline. And now where will the side judge stop his walk? That's the question. He says it crossed out of bounds at about the 17-yard line. The Saints offense on the field, ready to get their drive started.
And Charles, a very uninspired effort the last time we saw them out there. It was a quick 3 and out, and they punted the football.
Yeah, and you never want to get stopped so soundly during a series, but what would be even worse now is letting it happen again right here. They've got to get going.
Work with me, partner. Take a deep breath, because that's what they're doing down the field now. That incompletion allowed them to exhale a little bit. Get in the huddle, kind of scan the crowd, see if any celebrities are here. Relax a little bit as they start this big drive.
They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks.
Now Winston. He's going to let it fly. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
With that incompletion, reality is staring them right in the face. This entire game is down to the next snap.
Desperation time. Winston on 4th down. It's complete. Kamara out across the 40-yard line before he's brought down. So a 1st down and then some. Winston. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And he knocks the ball away and it falls incomplete. One final shot now. I'm not even sure he can get it to the end zone, though, from this distance.
That's going to take as much arm as he has, and you actually have to plan for the contingency. Maybe you're playing a tip. Try and get someone down who can tip it up and keep it for your own team and try and get to the end zone that way.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down. One last shot now for Winston. Sideline throw, it's complete. And a nice job there of keeping the toes in bounds. Now they do indeed get the timeout, so all is not lost. They'll have a chance for one final heave to the end zone. One final shot. They'll look to throw. He sets to fire deep. And that is going to be incomplete. Boy, they got the tip they were looking for, but couldn't secure it. And this one's over. And Charles, in this one, the 4th quarter became a lot more interesting, I know, than I anticipated. Probably you anticipated. A comeback bid falling just a little bit short.
You're never supposed to count a team out, and I know we didn't on air, but mentally, I just didn't see this type of a comeback, especially one that put them in a position to put the real pressure on them down the stretch.
So for the Jaguars, they boost their record up to a strong 4-1. And they'll be able to enjoy this one through the bye week before they get back at it again. Meanwhile, for the Saints, they drop below 500 to 2-3 with a loss. And they'll be at home next week for a date with the Tennessee Titans.